Hello everyone. Let's review the second Dhyana Shloka of Lalita Sahasranamam. Arunam Karunatarangitakshim Dritapashangushpushpabanachapam Animadibhiravritam Mayukaihi Ahamityeva Vibhavaye Bhavanim. The second Dhyana Shloka is said to be composed by Dattatreya. Dattatreya is the son of Atri Maharishi and Anasuya, and he is considered to be the Adi Guru. Let's review the meanings now. Arunam. Arunam is the color red, so one who is red. If we have to be very precise, Arunam is the color of the rising sun. So it's the color of the dawn. So just like when the sun rises, the darkness of the earth is gone. Similarly, when Lalita rises in our heart, the ignorance is dispelled. There is a fundamental ignorance to human existence. In Advaita it is said that there is only one ultimate reality, and that ultimate reality manifested into all the forms we see here. That ultimate reality is limitless, timeless, nameless, formless, attributeless. And it has two complementary aspects. It is called Shiva and Shakti. So when the ultimate reality is contained or is nothing, it's called Shiva. And when it's everything, it's called Shakti. And Shiva and Shakti are complementary, like fire and heat. They are inseparable. But there is a significant step in the process of creation. It's called the Maya, which is the wheel of illusion. So because of this wheel of illusion, that limitless ultimate reality becomes constrained. It becomes constrained in time, space, name, form. And the wheel of illusion now creates the subject and object differentiation. So because of the Maya, the manifested forms now see I, and the rest of the world is there. So I is Aham and the rest of the world is Idam. So this Maya causes that split between for all of us, and that's why we see ourselves as separate from the rest of the world. So that is the fundamental ignorance, and by worshipping Lalita, we can get to a point where we realize our oneness with the entire universe, and that's called the process of realization. So Lalita is capable of dispelling that ignorance for us, and that's why she is Arunam. Karuna Tarangita Akshim. Karuna means compassion. Tarangita means overflowing or brimming. Akshi means eyes. So one whose eyes is overflowing with compassion. And Lalita is the mother of the universe, and we are all her children. Therefore, she has lots of love for us, and that love is seen in her eyes. So her eyes are brimming with compassion and love for us, her children. Dhrita, Pasha, Ankusha, Pushpabana, Chapa. Dhrita means holding. Pasha is rope or noose. Angusha is the goad. Pushpabana is floral arrows, and Chapa is bow. So the Pasha here, or the rope or noose, represents the desires. We as human beings, all our actions are driven by our desires. Desires means what we want, what we expect for life to give us. So it's our expectations, it's our wants, and this is what drives our actions. And Angusha is a goad, and if you look at the elephant mahots, they have a small stick-like thing, and they use that to control the elephant. Pushpabana is all the senses. So we have 5 senses: the hearing, sight, smell, touch, and taste. Those are the 5 senses. So as human beings, we're all driven by our senses, right? So our senses are always looking outside. They bring information from outside into ourselves. So everything that our mind knows is because of all of these senses. And these senses feed information to the mind, which is the bow. The bow represents the mind here. And when the senses feed the information to the mind, then desires are created in our mind. And those desires influence our actions. Now, the significance behind Lalita holding these is that when we get influenced by our senses and our mind is starting to create desires which are driving our actions, Lalita has the Angusham that is capable of controlling us and bringing us back to the right path. So the Pasha Angusha Pushpabana Chapam is a reminder for us to direct our senses towards Lalita. When our senses are directed towards Lalita, then our mind is not clouded, it is clear, and it is free from any disturbance. And when the mind is not disturbed, all the actions we take are in the right direction, and therefore we will get towards the path of liberation or get towards the path of being good humans. So that's why she's holding Pasha Angusha Pushpabana Chapam. Animadi Biravritam. Anima here refers to the Anima Devis, the Siddhi Devis who are around Lalita. Biravrita means surrounded by. So Lalita is sitting in the center, and there are Devis who are sitting around her in 9 layers. In the outermost layer, there are all these Siddhi Devis. Anima Siddhe, Lagima Siddhe, Garima Siddhe, Mahima Siddhe, Ishitva Siddhe, Vashitva Siddhe. So there are all these Siddhi Devis that are sitting. So there is Lalita in the center and all these Devis, Siddhi Devis sitting around her in the outer layer. Mayukaihi. Mayukaihi means one who is radiant. So she has this golden hue, she's shining. Aham ityeva vibhavaye bhavanim. Vibhavaye means imagine. Bhavani here is Lalita. She is Bhuvan's wife. So that's why she is Bhavani. So Bhavani also means one who gives life. So I imagine Lalita to be like this is one way of interpreting this. The other, more deeper way of interpreting this is Aham itieva vibhavaye bhavanim, meaning that I imagine Bhavani to be me. I think that means I and Bhavani are one and the same. So that is the height of realization. When we as human beings understand that God resides within our heart, then and that us and Lalita are not separate, are just one and the same, then it is the realized person. That is the process of realization. In fact, that is the whole idea of Lalita Sahasranamam, to realize our oneness with Lalita. And that is the process of realization. This is the meaning of the second sloka. Thank you all.